Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, Verse 21. Yasyam Sandaryamānāyām
Yasyam sandhyaryamānāyām
Yogino Bhakti Lakshana
yogino bhakti lakshana
Ashrayam Bhadram Ikshata. Sorry. Ashu Sambhata Yate Yoga.
ashu sampadayate yoga
Ashrayam Bhadram Ikshita.
ashrayam bhadramikshita
Yasyam Sandharyamānāyām
Yashyam sandhyaryayama
Yogino Bhakti Lakshana
yogino bhakti lakshana
Ashu Sampadhyate Yoga
ashu sampadayate yoga
Ashrayam Bhadram Ikshata.
ashrayam bhadramikshita
Yasyam Sandarayamānāyām
Yasyam
Yasyam
Sandharyamānāyām
sandhyaryamānāyām
Yogino Bhakti Lakshana
yogino bhakti lakshana
Asu Sambhadyate Yoga
Ashu
ashu
Sambhadyate
sampadayate
Yoga
yoga
Ashrayam Bhadram Ikshata.
Ashrayam
ashrayam
Bhadram
bhadramikshita
Ikshata. Yeah, please recite.
Yashyam sandharyamānāyām
Yasyam Sandaryamānāyām
yogino bhakti lakshana
Yogino Bhakti Lakshana
ashu sampadayate yoga
Ashu Sampadhyate Yoga
ashrayam bhadramikshita
Ashrayam Bhadramikshata. Translation purport by Stephen Grace Away Charnarinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Synonyms: Yasyam, by such systematic remembrance.
Yashyam, by such systematic remembrance.
Sandharyamanayam, and thus being fixed in the habit of.
Sadharyamanayam, and thus being fixed in the habit of.
Yogina, the mystics.
Yogina, the mystics.
Bhakti Lakshana, being practiced to the devotional system.
Bhakti Lakshana, being practiced to the devotional system.
Ashu, very soon.
Ashu, very soon.
Sampadhyate, attain success.
Sampadhyate, attain success.
Very good. Yoga, connection by devotional service.
Yoga, connection by devotional service.
Ashrayam, under the shelter of.
Ashrayam, under the shelter of.
Bhadram, the all good.
Bhadram, all good.
Ikshata, with seeing that.
Ikshita, with seeing that.
Translation, please repeat after me. O king,
O king,
by this system of remembrance and by being fixed in the habit of seeing the all good personal conception of the Lord.
by the system of remembrance and by being fixed in the habit of seeing the all good personal conception of the Lord,
One can very soon attain devotional service to the Lord under his direct shelter.
one can very soon attend devotional service to the Lord under his direct shelter.
Purport.
Success of mystic performances is achieved only by the help of the devotional attitude. Pantheism, or the system of feeling the presence of the Almighty everywhere, is a sort of training of the mind to become accustomed to the devotional conception. And it is the devotional attitude of the mystic that makes possible the successful termination of such mystic attempts. One is not, however, elevated to such a successful status without the tinge of mixture in devotional service. The devotional atmosphere created by pantheistic vision develops into devotional service in later days, and that is the only benefit for the impersonalist. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that the impersonal way of self realization is more troublesome because it reaches the goal in an indirect way. Although the impersonalist also becomes obsessed with the personal feature of the Lord after a long time.
हरि ओं तत्सदोम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुलं गायत्रीं यत्कृपातमं दे श्रीगुरुं दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरं नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रसाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताक स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमो आचार्यपदाय निताय कृपप्रदायिने गौरकथाधामथाय नगरग्रामतारिणे नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रसाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादे पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 हराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः हरे गोपाल गोविंद राम श्रीमधुसूदनम् मुकाम करोति वाचालं पङ्गुलं गायत्रीं कृपातमं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम्. Very beautiful, purport. Unless otherwise devotional service is not performed, how much our mystic performances would not be successful. Some way or other, if someone establishes in his mind his continuous relationship with Krishna, then it is called a remembrance. So remembrance, there's a nice statement in Vishnu Purana also about remembrance. Simply by remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all the living entities become eligible for all kinds of auspiciousness. So, let me always remember the Lord who is unborn and eternal. So, this is the power of remembrance. And the purpose of all this yoga is to remember Krishna, remembering his Smaranam, which is one of the 9 devotional service. And of course, when you remember Krishna, it depends upon what level of consciousness we have developed. There are many symptoms of even ecstatic love caused by remembering Lord Sri Krishna also. Sometimes, friend of Krishna, by simply observing the bluish cloud in the sky, immediately they might remember Krishna. So, we don't know the remembrance of Lord Krishna. But when one's mind is polluted, it's very difficult to remember Krishna. And when remembrance of Lord Krishna is hampered, then he becomes totally unproductive. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 43 and 44, is said about such remembrance. Tatra tam buddhi samyogam labate phaurva dehikam yatate chatato bhuya samsiddhau kurunandana purvabhyasena tenaiva hriyate hi avasho apisa. So, if the yogi fails in his process, but if he has touched little bit of devotional service, then in the next birth, he will revive the divine consciousness of his previous life, and he will again try to make further progress in order to achieve the complete success. So that means his attempt is not futile if he has performed devotional service. Otherwise, his attempt is 100% futile, even though he would have come to the end of the yogic process. So, by virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life, then he will automatically become attracted to the yogic principle again. And then, without seeking them, he will get the appropriate Sangha. Krishna awards Sadhu Sangha. The devotees association, Krishna is awarding. So then there is possibility. So what is most important is that fix savai mana savai mana Krishna padara vindayo. The mind should be situated on the lotus feet of Krishna all the time. This is not a theory statement that again and again we are repeating in the class. The practical aspect of always remembering Krishna's lotus feet is by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. At least 16 rounds regularly will put you in the position that you will tend to remember Krishna's lotus feet always, so that the mind is fixed on the lotus feet of Krishna. So if the mind is fixed on the lotus feet of Krishna, Krishna says to Arjuna, Ma manusmaran utyacha. Always think of me in this form of Krishna, the 200 Shavam Tripanga Lelitam Niyata Prakasham. Think of me in this form always, and then you do fight Arjuna. Then you are not a Kshatriya and you are not a Karmi. Whatever you are doing is for me. So in this way, whatever we are doing in our normal walk of life, especially after initiation or under shelter, we must understand that we are not much entangled with the karma, though externally it would appear so. But what we have to do, we have to fix our mind on Krishna. So how to Mahamanusmaran Uttecha, how to think of Krishna always? Always think of Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So when you are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that means you are thinking of Krishna. Whether you know it or you don't know it, you don't need to worry about it. Acharyas will take care of that. But if you are chanting, is the way you think of Krishna. So always chanting means always thinking of Krishna. Minimum 16 round of chanting means at least sometime you should think of Krishna. And this practice will automatically go ahead and the 16 round will increase naturally to always remember Krishna. So this is the bhakti process which is bona fide and established by the Acharya Parampara, and those who are initiated are empowered to experience this particular bhakti. So we must focus on that. Next slokas, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, verse 22. Rajo Vacha
Rajovacha
Yata Sandaryate Brahman
Yatha sandhayate Brahman
Dharanayatra Sammata
Dharanayatra sammata
Yadrishiva Hare Dashu
Yadrishiva Hare Dashu
Purushasya Manomalam.
पुरुषस्य मनोमलम्
Rajovacha
राज उवाच
yata sandaryate brahman
यथा सन्धायते ब्रह्मन्
dharanayatra sammata
धारणायत्र सम्मता
yadrishi vaharedashu
यादृशी वा हरेदाशु
purushasya manomalam.
पुरुषस्य मनोमलम्
Yeah, recite please.
राजोवाच
Rajovacha
यथा सन्धायते ब्रह्मन्
yata sandaryate brahman
धारणायत्र सम्मता
dharanayatra sammata
यादृशी वा हरेदाशु
yadrushi vaharedashu
पुरुषस्य मनोमलम्
purushasya manomalam. Synonyms. Rajovacha, the fortunate king said,
राजोवाच the fortunate king said
yatha, as it is.
यथा as it is
Sandaryate, the conception is made.
sandhayate the conception is made
Brahman, O Brahmana.
Brahman O Brahmana
Dharana, conception.
dharana conception
Yatra, where and how.
yatra where and how
Sammata, in a summary.
sammata in a summary
Yadrishi, the way by which.
yadrishi the way by which
Va, or.
va or
Haret, extricated.
haret extricated
Ashu, without delay.
ashu without delay
Purushasya, of a person.
purushasya of a person
Mana, of the mind.
mana of the mind
Malam, dirty things.
malam dirty things.
Translation, please repeat after me. The fortunate king Parikshit inquired further, said,
The fortunate king Parikshit, inquiring further, said,
O Brahmana,
O Brahmana,
please describe in full detail
please describe in full detail
how and where the mind has to be applied
how and where the mind has to be applied
and how the conception can be fixed
and how the conception can be fixed
so that the dirty things in a person's mind can be removed.
so that the dirty things in a person's mind can be removed.
Purport. The dirty things in the heart of a conditioned soul are the root cause of all troubles for him. A conditioned soul is surrounded by the manifold miseries of material existence, but on account of his gross ignorance, he is unable to remove the troubles due to dirty things in the heart, accumulated during the long prison life in the material world. He is actually meant to serve the will of the Supreme Lord, but on account of the dirty things in the heart, he likes to serve his concocted desires. These desires, instead of giving him any peace of mind, create new problems and thus bind him to the cycle of repeated birth and death. These dirty things of these these dirty things of fruitive work and empiric philosophy can be removed only by association with the Supreme Lord. The Lord, being omnipotent, can offer his association by his inconceivable potencies. Thus, persons who are unable to pin their faith on the personal feature of the Absolute are given a chance to associate with his Virat Rupa, or the cosmic impersonal feature of the Lord. The cosmic impersonal feature of the Lord is a feature of his unlimited potencies. Since the potent and potencies are identical, even the conception of his impersonal cosmic feature helps the conditioned soul to associate with the Lord indirectly and thus gradually rise to the stage of personal contact. Maharaja Parikshit was already directly connected with the personal feature of Lord Sri Krishna, and as such, he had no need to inquire from Shukadev Goswami about where and how to apply the mind in the impersonal Virat Roop of the Lord. But he inquired after a detailed description of the matter for the benefit of others who are unable to conceive of the transcendental personal feature of the Lord as the form of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. The non-devotee class of men cannot think of the personal feature of the Lord. Because of their poor fund of knowledge, the personal form of the Lord, like Rama or Krishna, is completely revolting to them. They have a poor estimation of the potency of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita 9.11, it is explained by the Lord Himself that people with a poor fund of knowledge deride the Supreme Personality of the Lord, taking him to be a common man. Such men are ignorant of the inconceivable potency of the Lord. By the inconceivable potency of the Lord, he can move in human society or any other society of living beings and yet remain the same omnipotent Lord, without deviating in the slightest of his transcendental position. So, for the benefit of men who are unable to accept the Lord in his personal eternal form, Maharaja Parikshit inquired from Shukadev Goswami how to fix the mind on him in the beginning, and the Goswami replied in detail as follows.
Hari Om Tat Sat. So, very wonderful question Parikshit Maharaj is asking, and Prabhupada is giving a very nice explanation in the purport. Materialistic person means actually full of dirty things within the heart. Huh? What is the dirty things? The lust and greediness. That's all. This is the dirty things. All materialistic person, they are lusty and greedy. That is where their heart is full of dirty things. And he is asking that how and where the mind has to be applied and how the conception can be fixed so that the dirty things in a person's mind can be removed. Very practical solution in this very Kali Yuga, which is very easily available and adaptable by all of us. This question is answered practically and theoretically by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Cheto Dharpana Marjanam. Let there be all victories. Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Chanting of the holy name of Lord Krishna. Kyunki that can cleanse the mirror of the heart and stop the miseries of the blazing fire of material existence. So that chanting is a waxing moon that will spread the white lotus of good fortune for all living entities. It is the life and soul of all education. Chanting of the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this expands the blissful ocean of transcendental life. It will give you the cooling effect to everyone and enables to taste the full nectar at every step. So what to speak of fixing the mind? Mind cannot be taken away from the lotus feet of Krishna. Purification of the dirty things happens. That means that dirty things are removed. Purification means purification of your heart. That's all. All the dirty things are within the heart, the bodily dirty things. So if you wash once, it's all gone. It's very difficult to remove the dirty things within the heart, but in this Kali Yuga, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has very simply given the process of chanting Hare Krishna. It begins from the purification of your heart, Cheto Darpana Marchanam. So this is the very wonderful thing, that how it is. So how Krishna consciousness is acting, how this transcendental sound cleanses your heart. You may not understand in the beginning, but if you take to the process, practice it by yourself, then you will understand. And in the Vedanta Sutra, it is said, Sabdha Thanavrdha, because the sound vibration is most important. The whole material existence has come into being from the sound only. Similarly, from the sound also, you can go back to spiritual existence. Go out from the material existence. So the sound vibration is very, very important. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So they also say that this Omkara, the Om is also sound vibration. Om. And Om is easier. But you cannot have so ecstasy by vibrating Om, because it was chanted by the greatest authority, Lord Chaitanya. This Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting will give you special power. Mahajano yena gata sapantha. So this is very, very important, that how to purify the mind and fix it on the lotus feet of Krishna by very simple and practical and scientific application of this particular knowledge is practically chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then only you will get the real fruit of why you are striving to become Krishna conscious. Okay, so Murari, we'll do one more sloka. But today is Dwadasi, maybe Dwadasi Parana timing. Yeah, we'll see this tomorrow. So what we do is, any questions or comments or realization, please do share with us. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you very much for the association. We'll resume our class tomorrow morning sharp at 8 o'clock. Till then, Grandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Patita Pavan Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Vaishnav Pranam. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Sai Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai. Tiger Premanande Haribo. So Guru Maharaj is coming to Mayapur, and tomorrow is a blissful Nityananda Trayodasi. So wish you all a blissful Nityananda Trayodasi in advance. Hare Krishna.